Good morning and welcome to Thought for the Day for Thursday the 17th of December. This morning I'm going to reflect upon just one verse from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 11, and it's a final greeting from Paul to the Corinthian church. He says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, farewell. Put things in order. Listen to my appeal. Agree with one another. Live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you." So this verse forms a positive and uplifting end to a rather emotional letter. So Paul has written this to the Corinthian people. He writes this in between his second and third and final visits. It's kind of preparation for his third visit to them. And the Corinthian church has proved to be quite a challenging church for Paul. He's challenged them in the way they treat each other and in the way they have been treating Paul. Difficulties amongst the Corinthians have involved quarrelling, jealousy, anger, selfishness, slander, gossip, conceit, and disorder. And the Corinthians have also been really critical in the way they have treated Paul. So in this letter, we read of really quite extreme emotions from Paul. On the one hand, he is joyous and expresses pride in this church which he founded. But on the other hand, we read of deep pain and hurt from Paul in the way that he's been treated. And we read he's defending himself throughout the letter in terms of his character, his doctrine, and his ministry. But despite all of that, despite how Paul must have felt, he ends the letter in a positive way. He says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, farewell. Put things in order. Listen to my appeal. Agree with one another. Live in peace. And the God of love and peace will be with you." And these final remarks, to me, they highlight the grace of Jesus, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit. Paul says, put things in order. Another translation uses the word mending. So Paul is appealing to this Christian community to mend or heal their differences, and so they can focus on Jesus' teaching. He says, agree with one another, or be of one mind, live in peace. He's encouraging them to heal those relationships, and that's likely to involve forgiveness and reconciliation, which we know isn't always the easiest thing to do. So within this theme, this Christian theme of love, Paul is urging this group of Christians to let things drop. Things that perhaps don't matter too much, let them drop so they can live in peace. For the sake of love and peace, it's not worth arguing or disagreeing over the little differences. Our primary focus should always be to support each other, to encourage, to love and build up each other within this love of Jesus. And if we are living in conflict and disagreement, it's really difficult to do those things. And I think it's always good for us to be reminded of this teaching in this verse that we read. We might well have differences of views and opinions with those around us in all sorts of different areas and subjects. But the important message is not to let our differing views or opinions get in the way of the way we should be treating each other with love and respect, encouraging and supporting each other. Essentially, Jesus calls us to come alongside each other and to live in peace. And this is a godly tolerance, isn't it? A godly tolerance that helps us to move beyond differences so that we can remain united in Jesus. And Paul finishes by reminding us and the Corinthians that God's love and peace is still available for us, even if we've had upsets in the past. He calls us to move forwards from this point, perhaps to say sorry to each other, to move forwards in love and peace. And then we will find that God's love and peace is always available, always raining down on us to receive. He just wants us to be living as Jesus taught us to, with love and respect for each other. So have a good rest of your day.